So I want to show you a second way that you can use the one large light modifier. So if I were trying to make this a little more fashion and a little less catalog-ish, what I would do is I would put some shadow into it. So I would actually take this and get it at an angle to the model. I don't want it to be straight on like this. So what we're trying to do now is to get a little bit of shadow into the shot, so it's a little bit more dramatic, a little more interesting. If you do it with a large light like this, the shadow tends to be pretty flattering. It's not like a hard, ugly shadow. It's a kind of wraparound shadow because the light is so large. If you use a smaller, harder light and you put the shadow in, sometimes it's a little too hard, but it depends on what you're going for. But this is something that I would definitely do. Process is going to be exactly the same as before. Thank you. Not going to mess with my shutter and my aperture. I'm only going to adjust the power of the light. So I was at 10. I was at full power earlier. I moved the light down to 8. Why did I lower the power on the light? Why not start testing it at 10?
Because you're burning closer.
I moved the light closer, so it probably doesn't need to be on 10. And when I was on 10, I was standing in front of the light. I'm not standing in front of it, so it's going to put out more light. So two different things happened. I moved it closer, and I'm no longer blocking some of the light. So I'm just going to start at 8, and we're going to see how this looks. Maybe too bright, maybe too dark. We're going to see it together. Okay, so what is our judgment? Too bright or too dark?
Too dark.
Too dark, and again, we're just going to raise the power on the light. So I went from 8 to 9, a kind of dramatic increase here. Beautiful there. Too bright or too dark?
Too bright.
Too bright. Now, split the difference. Roll me -5 there. Good. I can dump it. That's good. Okay. Let's see if that's right. Beautiful there. All right, so this may be correct. Yeah, this may be correct for me right here. Again, you might want a little more light, a little less light. For me, this is probably correct. A couple of things. When I do this setup where this is positioned now I've got the freedom to move. Remember when we were directly in front of it, we lost that freedom. Now we've got the freedom to move left, move to the right. I can move closer, I can move farther back, so that's good. And if we're not going to light the background and we want the background to be kind of even, my suggestion to you is to shoot lower. Okay, so we're going to get down to like a floor position like this and try to get our full length here. Now my background should be reasonably even. Not going to be perfect, but it'll be reasonably even. Here. So we're okay with this. This background we like, and we like the lighting on this. And for the most part, I'm going to pose her into the light. So work through, give us about 5 or 6 poses here, just something that looks really cool. Beautiful. Turn into the light now. Keep the body the same way. Beautiful there. Good. Perfect. Eyes towards camera now. Chin up now. Perfect. Beautiful there. So on these shots, again, sometimes I'm going to point her towards the light. And obviously, we can do one of two things. If she keeps looking in the direction of the light, we can either take the light and move it to the opposite side and have her pose to the other direction, or just flip the image, right? If it's a celebrity, maybe you don't want to flip it because maybe they look a little different on one side to the other. But if it's a fashion shoot, it's not really about her. It's about the clothing, the lighting, the mood, the story. Just flip the image and you can keep posing her in the same direction, or keep her straight and let some of that shadow be on half of her face and half not on her face, okay? And again, just to remind you that last point, I would suggest being low on this. That's going to make your background look a little bit more even, okay? So again, it's just a one light setup, but we just moved it, gave us more freedom of movement, and it made something just a little bit more dramatic than the more catalog look when we put the light straight in front of her. Any questions on that setup? All right, let's try to shoot this quick because we got one more that we want to get through, all right? Sounds good.